Hello, my beautiful friend. Welcome to Coming Home. I am your host, Dr.Onalee. It is my intention to help you be done with narcissists, situationships, avoidance, any unhealthy love pattern and dynamic. I'm here to help you come home to yourself and get connected to who you really are, who your creator says you are. And in that, you can start to begin to prepare for a healthy romantic relationship or your soulmate, the love of your life. And today is inspired because I was on a client call today and I was sharing with her the gifts the avoidant has left her. And I figured you might also benefit from some of the things that I was sharing with her on the one on one call. And so I put together five main gifts a narcissist. Let's just use the term narcissist to make it easy. And first of all, let's just clarify here. Narcissist just means somebody who is selfish. They're self centered. They are more about themselves. They are self seeking. They are not necessarily interested in your well being. They're not fully caring, although they most likely present in the beginning that they are. But once they get you, once they hook you in, then you start to see their true colors. The mask comes off and you see they're not actually considerate. They are not really caring about how you feel with them and outside of themselves. So they are really operating out of fear, out of power, out of control, out of insecurity. And what we want to do is we want to not be a match to that. We want to no longer be attracted to that. And that is what this work is around coming home to yourself. So if you have just completed with a narcissist or it's been a while, you're going through a divorce, whatever the case may be, these are the five main gifts that I want to help you find. And the first one, which I think is the biggest gift narcissists have left in my life, is that they really teach me I can trust my gut. They really teach me that my intuition is correct. That when I start feeling doubt, when I start feeling hesitancy, when I start feeling them pulling away, when I get that sick to my stomach feeling, it's never wrong. There is something off. And so, as I was going through dating multiple narcissists, multiple avoidance, you name it, each time I would get closer and closer, but I would get more clear on, wow, my gut is going off. Something's off here. I learned the other times where I doubted it, I was right. And so now I tune in and I can trust my gut. I can trust my heart. I can trust my intuition. And it just gets clearer and clearer and clearer. So they leave you with knowing you can trust your gut. That is an amazing indication. It's a way God, the universe, our higher power talks to us is through our feelings. Is every fleeting feeling correct? No, not necessarily. But you will start to know something feels off. Something doesn't feel right. Let me explore this. Let me look at this and don't let myself just talk myself out of it because of logic. The second thing here is that they really help you see your pattern and your defects. If you have a pattern like me where you talk yourself into making it work or you keep justifying their behavior, you give them the benefit of the doubt, you gaslight yourself and you say, oh, well, it's not that bad, or oh, it's just the beginning, or oh, yeah, you're right, we don't know each other that well. Oh, yeah, he just said one condescending, rude comment. Where has that gotten you? Where does that get you? We want to get to the point where the first time, the moment they start to disrespect you, the moment you realize you're just not fully into them, where you feel like you have to keep talking yourself into making it work and overly justifying it. I had another client call today, and I think this is really powerful to remind all of us is that have you ever been in love? Even if it was high school love, middle school love, college love, just a young love, you probably weren't sitting there wondering, do I really like them? Is this person for me? Are they the one? You were just being in love. You were just being happy. It probably too didn't even fully matter how they looked. So if you're overly having to question something, discernment is beautiful and it's powerful, yes. But if you're overly wondering, is this person right for me or are they not right for me? Are they right for me? Yada, yada, yada. Chances are they most likely, who am I to fully say, they're not your person. So look and recognize at your patterns in these common relationships and see where were maybe you forcing the relationship, wondering what you guys are, why they won't ask you to be their girlfriend, why they haven't asked you to marry them yet, why they haven't kissed you, why they haven't said, I love you. When you're in that state, something is off. So look at your part in it. Look at where maybe you're forcing, you're controlling. To me, my biggest one was I just overly justified and rationalized and gave them the benefit of the doubt. That was the downside of my empathy and my compassion and seeing the best in people. And so I had to let go of so much scarcity and my clock ticking and gaslighting myself. And I got better at it. As I dated more people or a relationship would advance, I got better at no longer needing to gaslight myself. When the doubt was starting to come, I would act on it. And here's the thing, I tell all my clients this. When you don't act on the doubt and God has spoken to you saying this isn't fully correct, you won't miss it. All the live long day when you're in the wrong relationship, the red flags, the signs, the feelings, they're never going to go away. So maybe you do ignore it. Maybe you do gaslight yourself. Maybe you do justify it, give them the benefit of the doubt, and you keep continuing to date them or stay in the relationship. If it's not right for you, it's going to keep being presented to you that it's not right. So either they will be the one to leave or cheat or pull themselves away, or you're going to have your courage and trust on it. This is a part that I think is really hard for most people, is that they're so afraid of missing out. Or what if I'm being too superficial or too picky? If it's the right person, you can't miss it. And if it's the right person, you're going to have peace. You're going to have clarity. You're going to have a knowing. They always say, right? When you know, you know. But the part there that's important is when you know. So when you know it's not right and when you know it is right, you're going to know. You're not going to miss that. Which leads us to the third thing, is that they are giving you the gift of getting even more clear of what it is you want. So say, for example, you're a woman like me and you love flowers, you love romance, you want to be taken out, you love that element. And the last partner, it was pulling teeth to get them to take you out, to book a date. You had to initiate it. They never brought you flowers. Once in a blue moon, maybe they did, but you would consistently like them a little bit more. And that's your personal thing. It's getting clear. I would really love a lot of romance. I love to be taken out. I love that element. And if I'm not really experiencing that, I'm not going to just keep telling myself that's not a big deal. That's asking for too much. You own your desires. For example, I had a guy I was dating and he would just wake up, and the moment he would wake up, he'd hit his vape, roll out of bed and get on his phone and go out into the living room. There was no kiss. There was no good morning. There was no touch. There was no affection. And so he helped me get clear. I want that. That's important to me. Some people might also be that way and they don't care about it. Well, at the end of the day, what I want you to hear is that it's getting clear on what's important to you and figuring out your non-negotiables. And here's the thing. Say you create this list of non-negotiables and you attract in somebody who maybe has a few of them, but a few core ones are missing. I guarantee if they really are the person you love, you're head over heels with, you won't care about it. But if you know that this non-negotiable keeps bothering you and you have this restlessness about it, that's not going anywhere. At the end of the day, especially when it comes to love, it requires so much discernment. There's no black or white in this field. These are suggestions. These are things to contemplate. These are things to get curious about, to be inspired by. But at the end of the day, create your own rules and do what is right for your heart. These are just some of the things I've experienced and helped thousands of people, men and women, in relationships. And these are some of the common things. The fourth gift that a narcissist, avoidant, and ex leaves you is that they really poke and prod and bring to the surface your main wounds. And your main wounds have been living within you since you were a child. For me, my biggest wound has been I don't feel fully chosen and I feel somebody else is more special than me. And so if a guy did choose me before I healed this wound, I wouldn't be attracted to them. I would get the complete ick. But if a guy wasn't choosing me, there was something within me that wanted so desperately to be chosen. I wanted them to see me and pick me. And then what would happen was they would leave me and then they would come back. I would allow them to come back. And I repeated this cycle and this pattern so long until I finally took a look at it and saw, wow, I have this wound. And this wound is just unhealed. But now I'm at an age, I'm at a consciousness, I have emotional maturity. I can now heal this wound and look at it, see it for what it is. And the way that we heal this wound is that we start, for example, to choose ourselves. And if somebody's not choosing us, a way we choose ourselves is we don't entertain them. We also get to choose other people. We choose our friends. We choose our family. We choose ourselves. We stick to our commitments. We're dependable. We're reliable. We don't abandon ourselves and our heart and our desires. We don't gaslight ourselves anymore. There are billions of people on this planet. We don't need to hang on so dearly to somebody that's not fully correct for us, especially in multiple areas where you know it's not fully aligned, it's not fully right. This is why our divorce rate is so high, because we settle. We have a clock that's ticking. It seems like the logical next step to do. We just graduated college. We've been together 4 years. I don't know if I'm going to find somebody else. And so I'm here to help you prevent that, because it just leads to further pain and chaos and misery. But a gift a narcissist could have left you if you did marry them and you did have children with them, your children couldn't be any different. It couldn't have been any other way. You can't go back and change the relationship, but you can extract the wisdom and the discernment in the dating process for the next person. So it's all a gift. And that leads to the fifth gift, is that they help you connect more with God, with your higher power. They help you experience your power where no one has power over you anymore. You don't need other people's approval. You don't need to be people pleasing. You don't need to hang on for dear life. You don't need somebody else to tell you you're beautiful or you're handsome. You get to determine that. You get to be who God says that you are. And that is why we're ultimately here. We're here to come home to ourselves. We're here to get connected with our higher power. We're here to realize that we're evolving and growing as souls. We're clearing this karma, these lessons, these agreements, these opportunities where we have given our power away and we have felt less than because of another human being's actions and behaviors, or lack of choosing us, or choosing somebody else. We are free when we don't need somebody else's approval and love to make us feel worthy and powerful and beautiful. Who better than the narcissist to be the one who directly leads you and guides you to your transformation of coming home to yourself, which is why we are here. And so my intention is that you're inspired after this conversation and you pull out your journal and you go write, what have been the gifts? I know there's been horrible things. I went through horrible things, physical, mental, emotional, verbal abuse in many relationships. That part is not a gift. But I choose to find the gifts, because if I can find the gifts and I can be an even more emotionally mature and aware, conscious person, I can then powerfully go into relationships. I can then say no and have a say and a choice when somebody disrespects me and doesn't treat me right. If I can see my part in it, this is your point of power. This is to help you. The gifts that you're seeking and searching and finding out are for you, for your wisdom, for your discernment, for your confidence, for your security. And to me, it really has an element of not beating myself up for being with narcissists and thinking God hates me and I'm always just stuck with being with narcissists. When I take this inventory, if you will, of the gifts of the relationship, I don't find these relationships as wasted. They're over, they're done. They were as long as they needed to be and as short as they needed to be as well. It couldn't have been any different, or it would have been. If it's good enough for God, it's good enough. So I invite you to take a list and write a list and take a look at the 5 things. And if right now you are looking for some support to help hold you while you're going through this, you want to get clear on your wounds, you want to get clear on your patterns, you want more support and encouragement and security around not entertaining them anymore, you want to start to get clear on your soulmate, how you want to feel, and to not settle again, and that is where you're at in your life and what you're looking for, I invite you to book a 30-minute call with me so we can get clarity on your exact situation and circumstance. You also, right now, if you already know that you're ready, you could book the 6-session package with me. You can use those within 3 months as things come up as you're going through your transformation, or you could go all in and we could do my 6-week package. 6 weekly calls. I serve every time zone. We'll always be able to find a call. 6 weeks unlimited in between text support so that you can message me as something comes up if you have a question, whatever shows up in between the calls, and we'll go through the 4-step No More Narcissist recovery program together. So if any of those interest you, those are the best ways at the time of this recording that I can support you. I'm going to go ahead and leave them below. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, amazing rest of your night. If you want to connect further, listen to some of my lives and my reels on Instagram. It is at Dr.Onalee. So I will be talking to you soon, and I can't wait to hear from you.